Tomorrow's Syracuse-Georgetown game, and we'll play either Villanova or Syracuse, so it's important for both teams.
Connecticut has Eddie Williams back tonight. He's missed 13 games. He still has that broken wrist tape, but he's in uniform. But while he's been out, Al Skinner-Frederick has been playing some basketball for Connecticut.
Alvin Frederick has played extremely well, and it's been 13 games to date since Eddie Williams dislocated his left wrist in Syracuse. And Skinner has scored over 10 points a game in those 13 games, has hit the boards effectively, and has also passed the ball well. I remember a highlight pass that he had against BC this past Monday behind his back.
And for Seton Hall, a fellow who's turned out to be one of the top freshmen in the Big East this year, and you will not be able to miss him. The big guy in the middle, 00, is Mark Bryant.
Mark Bryant is one of 3 freshmen that starts for the very young Seton Hall Pirates, and Mark is second in the team in scoring and in rebounding. He overcame an early season injury-plagued start with ankles and a mild concussion in a game against St. John's and played extremely well. And P.J. Carlissimo is counting heavily on his freshman Mark Bryant off the boards tonight and on into the tournament.
So that's the way it stacks up. University of Connecticut Huskies, the Seton Hall Pirates here at Walsh Auditorium. We'll be back and have the starting lineups after this. Welcome back to Walsh Auditorium. Connecticut 13-13, Seton Hall 9-17. Let's go for the starting lineups to PA announcer Bob Capasso.
Here are tonight's starting lineups. First for the Huskies from the University of Connecticut. At guard, number 10, standing at 6'1" from New Haven, Connecticut, Earl Kelly. At guard, number 3, standing at 6'2", Terry Coffey. At center, number 34, standing at 6'7" from Baltimore, Maryland, Tim Coles. At forward, number 4, standing at 6'7" from Daytona Beach, Florida, Ray Broxton. And at forward, number 21, 6'5" from Stamford, Connecticut, Alvin Frederick. The head coach of Connecticut, Dom Perno. And now for the Seton Hall Pirates. At guard, number 10, a 6-foot freshman from Brooklyn, New York, James Major. At guard, number 14, a 6'3" senior from Altadena, California, Ransom Eves. At center, number 00, a 6'9" freshman from South Orange, New Jersey, Mark Bryant. At forward, number 13, a 6'4" freshman from Levittown, Pennsylvania, Martin Sally. And at forward, number 33, a 6'6" junior from Washington, D.C., Andre McLeod. The head coach of Seton Hall, P.J. Carlissimo.
We'll be back with the opening tip-off right after this. Some of the scene here at Walsh Auditorium. Seton Hall cheerleader, the 2 clubs out in the center of the court. One thing about this court, you know exactly that you're looking at Walsh Auditorium because of the unique parquet. There's the starting lineup for Connecticut: Broxton, Frederick, Coles, Kelly, and Coffey. They are in the blue traveling uniforms for Seton Hall. McLeod, Sally, Bryant in the middle, Major, and Eves. And your 3 officials tonight: Hugh Donahue, Mickey Crowley, and Pete Pavia. So here we go, second to last regular season game in the Big East this year. There is one more tomorrow, and the Connecticut Huskies control the opening tip-off. Connecticut with a big advantage in this series, 10 wins, 3 losses dating back to 1916-17. They've lost only once since the start of the Big East Conference. And Seton Hall shows zone off the top. Coffey on a drive and the rebound to the big freshman, but he has it knocked away. Out of bounds, it'll be Connecticut's ball. Some quick hands in there, Ron Perry.
Well, that's Skinner Frederick that we talked about at the top of the show. He's been active off the boards as well as providing some scoring punch. He did a good job that time. As you see, P.J. Carlissimo not happy to see the bounce go against the Pirates on the first possession of the ball game.
P.J. would love to win this one. Not that it means anything in the standings, as we mentioned before, they will still play Providence, but since the home and home aspect of the Big East started a few years ago, no team has gone through the entire conference season without a win. I was counting up. Seton Hall has lost 29 of their last 30 games in the Big East, and 10 of those have been by 5 points or less, including the last time they played Connecticut, which was 81-76, their last ball game against Villanova. They have played some awfully strong ball clubs tough and have come up empty.
Well, when you're in close games and you start to lose a few of them and it gets towards the end of the season, it does seem to get contagious. So Seton Hall is trying for their first win in the Big East as they make a steal that time.
Coffey with the loses it on the steal by Eves. Eves, who can gun, in for McLeod. Seton Hall out on top of the jump hook by Andre McLeod. Both he and Earl Kelly with a shot that finishing as the Big East scoring leader, depending upon what they do tonight and depending on Raphael Addison in Syracuse's last game. Yeah, changing basketballs. Had been some word that maybe there wasn't enough air in it.
Well, as a shooter, as a former shooter, as I look at Ray Broxton, who shot the ball extremely well this year, it's always nice to shoot a ball that's a little bit on the soft side. The harder ball bounces hard off the rims, and this is, Walsh Auditorium is a fine gym to shoot in. These rims have some give, and the shooters tend to like it here.
Well, there's Seton Hall pressure. After the made basket, Huskies get it down and will set it up. Earl Kelly plays the point. Coffey at the other guard. That's Frederick. Back to Kelly. Guns, top of the key. It's in there. 2 off.
Earl Kelly playing a very fine season this year at the point guard as well as the number 2 guard. That time he took on some scoring responsibilities, canning the jumper.
That's McLeod again. Misses this time. And back come the Huskies. The rebound by Broxton. Kelly back to Broxton on a drive. They're looking for a traveling call, and there is none. The rebound, Connecticut. Coles up and scores.
It's one area where UConn's been very successful this year, as you see, Andre McLeod. Timmy Coles is the tallest UConn starter out there at 6'7", along with Ray Broxton. But UConn does a nice job off the boards in the person of Timmy Coles. Finishes off, and he's got a chance to score from the free throw line, where he's much improved this year. Great accuracy for Timmy Coles from the foul line this year.
78.6.
It's up from 62% last year.
Interesting. McLeod is potentially the leading scorer in this conference this year, and he's going to end up, he's only a junior, somewhere in the top 3 or 4 for Seton Hall, and yet he hasn't had great success against Connecticut over the years. On the drive, and the foul is called. It's going to be, all right, that's on Ray Broxton.
Both teams are going at each other with some three-quarter court zone pressure to make each other work to bring the ball up court. Pretty good passing that time by Seton Hall to work it up and get it inside to Sally, who drew the foul.
Sally, one of 3 freshmen who start for P.J. Carlissimo's Pirates. Just about a 55% free throw shooter. Misses his first of the night. Well, 62%. His next is good. 5-3 ball game. That pressure again after the made free throw by the Pirates.
1-2-2 pressure by Seton Hall, and they're trying to trap in corners, but UConn's going right at it this time.
Frederick over the top. They'll go the other way. And that is interesting as to why McLeod may not have been there's Dom Bruno of Connecticut, that effective offensively against Connecticut over the years.
It can happen against a certain team that you just don't get your game going on a certain night, but I think UConn is very conscious to shade towards Andre McLeod out of their zone, or if they play man-to-man to play him very tough, they're conscious of him.
Sally, a freshman, on the drive, gets it and is fouled. Sally, number 13.
It's a fine move by Martin Sally. Mark Bryant gives it to him, and he gets position inside on Earl Kelly, goes in, makes a fine move. Skinner Frederick follows him on the play. And Martin Sally, as you look at him on the free throw line, is one of the fine young freshmen for the Seton Hall Pirates.
4 points. The average is close to 9. There's the pressure again by Seton Hall. Coffey back to Kelly. Softer pressure this time down. Pick him up at the timeline. A high pass to Broxton. Quickly underneath for Coles. Easy bucket. Handle the pressure beautifully.
Very nice passing that time by UConn. The key pass was getting it in the middle to Ray Broxton, who did a nice job coming to the ball. And from then on, it was great passing.
McLeod couldn't quite figure out to do with it. What to do with it from 20. Gave it up now, and Seton Hall sets up. Eves. Good outside shooter. McLeod with the ball, left side. Eves comes over.
UConn is setting up in a very packed 1-2-2 zone. They're trying to invite the long-range jump shot by Seton Hall, leaving themselves in good rebounding position.
And the big fella, Bryant, and McLeod down deep. Eves, that long-range shot bounces off the top of the glass. Rebound. And a travel on Andre McLeod as he was trying to get set to go back up. That'll turn it over to the UConn Huskies. It was P.J. Carlesimo. Great success at Wagner and trying to build a program here at Seton Hall.
You know, he knows that he has some young players, and he spoke before the game of the significance of getting a win on the board in Big East play before the tournament.
Coffey misses. Rebound to Seton Hall. Major. 3-on-4, fires an 18-footer. No good. Coles battles for the rebound. Off the floor. It's Major again. Missing. Rebound. Bryant with another try. It's good. Seton Hall, nice work on the offensive.
Very good job. It doesn't seem like either team is doing a great job of finding people and boxing out in the early going.
Connecticut with Broxton at the high post. Coffey on the left side for Coles. About a 12-foot jump shot. Sally comes in for the rebound for Seton Hall. Got pushed, looked for a call, and didn't get it. 16 minutes to play in the first half. Bryant facing the basket, long range. Turns at a high post now. Ball over to Eves. They get it to Bryant. And he gets it in there. That's 4 points for the big freshman.
He's been playing very consistent ball lately, and that's one part of his game that's been coming on all season long, the short-range jump shot.
You look around the conference, Bryant playing as well as he has. Charlie Smith, Charles Smith down in Pittsburgh, another big man that has come on and had an impact in the first year. Broxton, nice move at the free throw line. And Broxton has his first bucket of the ball game. 10-9. Seton Hall with a lead of 1.
We'll see which team can start taking over defensively, doing the job. And that way they'll have a chance to control the tempo. Both teams doing a pretty good job scoring so far, though.
With 15 minutes and 12 seconds to play, the score is Seton Hall 10 and UConn 9. There's a timeout in the action, and we'll be back right after this. Reminds you that the broadcast cablecast rights to this game are granted by the Big East Conference to Metro Sports, with exclusive production contract with TCS Productions. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without prior written consent is prohibited. The announcers on this telecast have been hired and paid for by TCS Metro Sports in consultation with the Big East Conference. Big East scoring leadership is possibly on the line here tonight. Chris Mullen scored 18 points this afternoon, and he comes, as of now, has 321. McLeod for Seton Hall, Kelly for UConn, both within range. We'll keep you up to date on how that goes during the ball game this evening. Ransom Eves fires at home with the left side, and Seton Hall is up by 3.
Well, that's why Ransom's in the ball game. He likes to put up that jump shot, and that can make teams think about playing the zone against Seton Hall because he can light them up and get hot in streaks.
Broxton takes one man, misses the shot. McLeod hauls down the rebound. McLeod among the leaders both in scoring and rebounding in the Big East. Broxton kicks Major's pass away, go out of bounds, and they'll bring it back in.
Now, the best word to describe Andre McLeod is just consistent. He comes out to play every night. He scores points, he rebounds in very workmanlike fashion. He's been a very good player for Seton Hall.
Under heavy pressure, a double team. Winged it away. Out of bounds on the other side of the court. Turnover gives it back to the Connecticut Huskies. The score is Seton Hall 12-9 over UConn. 14 minutes, 33 seconds to play. We're in the first half.
Terrence Warren now into the game at point guard for UConn, and look for Earl Kelly on the wing to start looking for that outside jump shot.
It's Frederick. Beautiful drive on the inside. And Al Skinner Frederick, his first bucket.
He made that one look easy, too.
Quick step inside. McLeod missed it. Rebound. Coles had Broxton, but Coles had just a magnificent ball game last year. Oh, a steal. Major alone. Easy two. 14-11 Seton Hall.
Great anticipation by James Major that time. Terrence Warren gave himself a flat angle to throw the cross-court pass, and Major just stepped in and took it for the easy two. And
since I mentioned that game that Coles had last year, as they get the ball to him for their jump shot, that's good. He had 19 points, 12 rebounds in a game against Patrick Ewing and the Hoyas. Major with some penetration. Pass doesn't get where he wanted it to go, and here they come the other way. 2-on-2. Broxton on the drive. And managed to avoid the foul at the same time.
Good defense creates good offensive opportunities, and that time Connecticut made the good defensive play with the steal and got the break opportunity.
The Huskies with that basket go up by a point. McLeod retaliates at the other end. Seton Hall by a point. McLeod has 4. That gives him 310 for the Big East season. He is 11 behind Chris Mullen.
You can see Seton Hall in a 1-3-1 extended half-court zone, and it's bothering the Huskies.
Kelly's pass deflected, comes down in the hands of Terrence Warren to Frederick for the jam.
Not bothering them too much, though, as Skinner Frederick goes in and dunks it. Good ball movement to the corners especially will be very effective against a 1-3-1.
They go to McLeod once more for another 2. 6 points for Andre McLeod, and Seton Hall is up by a point, 18-17. Connecticut with the ball. Terrence Warren, he's local from Newark Central High School, just a couple of miles away from Irvington, New Jersey. Number 20 in the blue for Connecticut. They throw it away. Kelly's pass past Brockton, out of bounds. Broxton. 12 minutes and 21 seconds to go. Tom Perno, who is a great star at Wilbur-Cross High School in Connecticut. High school team won 49 straight games at one point. Came on to be a big star at the University of Connecticut, now the coach there. Eves misses from the corner.
Tom's really done a nice job with the team, too, when you consider that Eddie Williams has been out for many games, and the team has played rather thin, with not too many reserves on the bench, and some of them have been youngsters like Terry Coffey and Terrence Warren and Jeff King, and the team has played very well this year.
Warren, the new fellow who came in just a couple of minutes ago, has a reputation as a very smart, very intelligent, heady ball player, as Kelly lets fly and misses. One hop off the floor. The rebound is Seton Hall. Or Martin Sally. Trying to get it inside to McLeod again. And it'll go the other way, and a timeout here with 11 minutes and 45 seconds to go. The score, Seton Hall 18, Connecticut 17. We'll be back right after this. Yeah, it starts March 7th, Madison Square Garden, the Big East basketball tournament, which has become quite a happening. We invite you to join us as TCS Metro Sports brings you all the pageantry and the excitement of tournament action from Madison Square Garden.
Well, right when it seemed like the UConn offense was stalling a little bit against Seton Hall's 1-3-1, Skinner Frederick had an answer for that. With that kind of move, slam dunk from the baseline, a fine one.
18-17, Seton Hall by 1. Connecticut with the ball. Terrence Warren playing the point. Good size guard, about 6'5". Trying to get it underneath, but the steal by Burton and kicked out of bounds. Off the foot of Mike Jones, and Connecticut gets it back. That's Ricky Burton in the ball game for the first time, 6'5" junior from Mount Vernon. He actually played center when Bryant was hurt for a while and went up against Georgetown, and Patrick Ewing had 14 points and 17 rebounds.
Ricky Burton has done a fine job for Seton Hall as the 6th man coming off the bench, and he's very versatile, playing anything from a swing man to center, as you just mentioned.
Well, they challenged Warren to take it, and he did.
That'll open up the passing lanes for Terrence Warren the next time by making people play him more honestly and not just giving him that top of the key jumper.
Mergen Cena is also in the ball game for Seton Hall now, number 35. Another one of the freshmen, the 4th freshman we've seen now. Shot is up and missed. Connecticut with a rebound. Terrence Warren in front of the home folks. Nice move as he gets by Cena. Passes over for Brockton, misses. Rebound to Seton Hall. That was Burton. Down to Cena. avoids the charge. And McLeod, 20-footer.
Good ball movement that time by Seton Hall, and Mergen Cena got it on the wing, the 6'6" guard, very good size. As you just mentioned, Terrence Warren's size, and Mergen made a good pass to Andre McLeod, and that shows you just one more thing that Andre can do, popping the 17-footer.
It's like a 2-3 zone right now for Seton Hall.
Seton Hall's been moving between the 1-3-1 and the 2-3, matching up a little bit out of this 2-3 and trying to find particularly Earl Kelly.
Warren will try again. Same result, 2 for 2.
That's what happens when a team shades too much towards one player. Credit Earl Kelly with dragging the defense toward him and freeing up the shot for Warren.
Leave Burton open. Fires a line drive, but gets his own rebound, and back up with it. Misses again, and high up in the air goes Skinner Frederick for the rebound for the Huskies. 9 minutes and 39 seconds to play. First half. Warren, that's Kelly. 2.
And that's the importance of the 2 shots that Terrence Warren hit. That time the defense had to respect his outside shooting, and he drew them to him and made a nice pass to Kelly. And he did the thing that he's done so often this year, canning the shot.
Burton underneath is rejected but fouled by Ray Broxton. Jerry Besseling, big sophomore. He's really bulked up some since he walked onto the campus out in Stores and came in, and he was sort of a Leo Routens type player from Syracuse a couple of years ago, and Connecticut wants him to show some muscle. He's been working on that.
Now he comes into the game and asserts himself right away off the boards, but he's also displayed a pretty good touch from 15, and he can pass the ball, as you mentioned, in the Leo Routens type of style, the kind of guy that can go out around the top of the key and pick people out with over-the-head passes.
So Ricky Burton, not the best free throw shooter in the world, as you can see. And another freshman into the ball game, that's Jeff King, who is from Lansing, Michigan, from Sexton High School. That's not where Magic went, is it?
I don't know. Yet another freshman, though, into the lineup.
Yeah, Magic was from Lansing. Not sure whether it was Sexton High School or not. Burton's free throw.
Got me on that one, Tom.
Well, I got myself, too, didn't I? Burton ready again. 2 for 2. It's a one-point ball game, but it seems like it has been all evening long. Pass intended for Frederick, just a little bit too long. Couldn't get to it. If it had been on the money, that might have been an interesting finish.
That's what you call going for the home run, though. And Terrence Warren generally will bring that ball into the foul line, where Don Perno likes him to bring it and try to use the bounce pass. He went for it all that time.
Connecticut with a lead, really stretching that zone out, aren't they? All over the place now. Mergen Cena. Pass under, hits the underside of the backboard. That was Sally. Connecticut comes the other way. Kelly sees he's got 1 on 4, slows it up, gets it to Terrence Warren. They'll set up the half-court game. Al Frederick called for the offensive foul.
That was great defensive anticipation. Good foot movement by Ricky Burton. Skinner Frederick goes to the baseline, uses that elbow too much, and Ricky Burton did a nice job to get position and draw the offensive foul.
Eddie Williams in for the first time in a long time. Missed 13 games. There he is with the cast on the left wrist. And Terry Coffey has come back in, started the ball game, and he's back on the floor for the Huskies. That zone very aggressive now by Connecticut. Besseling gets a hand on a pass for the Huskies, but Seton Hall gets it back. Burton to Cena, his first shot of the game. Gets iron, and the rebound to Sally. Cena again, free throw line. Tries to get it under for Sally. He's in severe traffic under there. Look at it go. And they finally tie it up in a jump ball.
A lot of contact, both on the pass inside to Sally and on the loose ball, as you saw Coffey and Burton head to the floor for it. We saw Don Perno's reaction. Now you can see P.J. Carlissimo up off the bench.
Well, you kind of expected some kind of a whistle. Ooh, yeah, what do you have to have? Just a part of your shoe in that box?
You can see UConn really extending that 1-3-1 zone. Seton Hall trying to penetrate between both the wing and the point man and hit the corners with the passes.
They get it into Sally. Nice pass from the corner to catch it. And Sally with a finger roll. And he has 6 points, 2 buckets, a couple of free throws for the freshman from Levittown, Pennsylvania.
Here's Seton Hall now showing some man-to-man defense. They don't play a lot of man-to-man. They did the first time against UConn. It wasn't that successful, so we'll see more zone tonight, but here's the man.
Jumper down the baseline by the freshman, Jeff King.
At 6'9", Jeff King likes to go 12 to 14 feet out along the baseline as well as rebounding, but that time he looked very nice shooting that jump shot.
Zone more compact this time down the floor for the Huskies. They were pressing it out to 25 feet or so last time down. Sally with a turnaround got bumped by Besseling. And Sally will go to the free throw line.
See some teams like the St. John's that will stick predominantly to their man-to-man. As you take a look at Don Perno sitting down, actually stooping down, where the coaches like to assume the position during the game. James Major checking in for Mike Jones for Seton Hall, but a lot of teams really like to mix up the zone defenses, show some pressure, move it back, disguise things, pack it in, particularly if you don't have the dominant big man like a Patrick Ewing or, say, a Bill Wennington. So a Seton Hall and a UConn really mixing up their defenses.
Sally has his first one. Yeah, neither of these teams with that dominant big man, although Bryant has the potential to become that sort of a thing. Sally has both of them.
Official timeout.
He has 8 points. There is a timeout here in South Orange, New Jersey. The score, Seton Hall 26, Connecticut 25, and we'll be back right after this.
Seton Hall on this occasion against a trapping 1-3-1 defense. Burton got rid of it into a good seam in the middle to Martin Sally, avoiding the trap in the corner, and Sally did the rest with a very good-looking finger roll. That was nothing but net. Nice move by the freshman Sally.
They've used a give and go. As you look at Martin Sally, they've used that give and go with Sally down the middle a couple of times. He's gotten a couple of baskets out of it.
That was just good ball movement, and you're right. That time they found him cutting to the hoop, and he did the rest.
There's your score. We're back in action with 7 minutes and 10 seconds to go. Big East Conference basketball here at Walsh Auditorium, South Orange, New Jersey. Connecticut in the blue with a basketball and trailing by a point. First shot in a long time by Eddie Williams, misses. Coffey with a rebound, hooks it up, no good. Mergen Sina comes down for Seton Hall with a rebound. James Major plays the point now for the Pirates. Bryant trying to work for position against another freshman, Jeff King, on the inside.
Now look for Sina to pop it from the perimeter, or Andre McLeod.
Major off of the left side. That's McLeod. Back to Major. Fires away. This is long, a little bit off to the left. Williams with a rebound.
There might have been a step or two out of James Major's range. Oftentimes he'll get it and penetrate and then dish off, and if it's open, he'll take it. That one was a little bit, probably a step or two deep for him.
Not sure where the shot clock was at that time, but I don't think it was down to just 2 or 3. 6 minutes and 6 seconds to go in the half. Besseling with McLeod right on, and we got some man-to-man operating here for Seton Hall. King doesn't have a shot, over to Kelly. 11 seconds on the shot clock, down to 9 now.
They're clear out for Earl Kelly.
Kelly over the 6'10 freshman. And I think the big fella bothered him. Put up an air ball, but foul is going to be called here on Pirates.
You can see Earl Kelly. It got down to 10 seconds on the shot clock, so Don Perno signaled for a clear out. They're not sure if that was partially deflected or not. He'll tell Jerry Besselink after the game that he was setting him up for the feed, although I don't think he intended it that way.
I think you're right, Ron Perry. An astute observation on your part, sir.
Thanks, Tom.
5 minutes and 35 seconds to play. First half, 26-25. Seton Hall, Connecticut with the ball. Quick pass under for Coles. It's blocked by Andre McLeod. Back come the Pirates. Major bounce underneath. Nice bounce pass under for Bryant, who's in traffic, but gets it up there and off the glass.
Pretty solid defense inside by Jerry Besselink. He kept his hands up straight, but Bryant did a fine job turning around and shooting that ball off the backboard.
6 points for Bryant. Williams, Besselink, jumper. No good. Battle for the rebound. Coles misses, and Mergen Sina pulls it down for Seton Hall. There's some muscle stuff going on underneath.
And Mergen Sina at 6'6" can go inside for a big guard and do the job rebounding.
Major called for the travel. P.J. Carlesimo. Skinner Frederick has just checked back in. There he is, number 21 for the Connecticut Huskies. There's Mr. Murno once more.
This really is a big game for UConn. They'd love to get a win here, and they'd tie for BC in the league standings. A coin flip after the game tomorrow between Syracuse and Georgetown will then determine the number 6 team. So UConn would really like to get this ball game, and right now Seton Hall is giving them all they can handle.
Broxton and Kelly playing catch inside outside. Broxton with a turnaround jump shot to bring Connecticut back within a point. Mergen Sina. That's Mergen first name, Sina last, by the way. And McLeod gets the basket for Seton Hall. 10 points. McLeod now with 316 for the year. He is 5 away from tying Chris Mullen for the current leadership in the Big East scoring race. Seton Hall with a rebound. Pass for McLeod. Heavy collision. I think McLeod was trying to tap the ball over. He saw someone coming down the right side. He and Earl Kelly skying for the basketball. Both hit the floor pretty hard. Looks like they're both going to be okay.
Seton Hall has done a better job the last 3 or 4 times down court on UConn's part, doing the job rebounding and getting their breaking game going.
Here's that collision. Kelly and McLeod colliding as McLeod was getting rid of the ball as Seton was coming down the right side. There is a timeout in the action. The score is Seton Hall 30, Connecticut 27, and we'll be back right after this. There is some of the family of Andre McLeod seated. Okay, that's his dad right there with the trophy. There were some presentations made before the broadcast tonight, and his dad's got one in safekeeping. Camera to get some shots of the last regular season game, and there is Andre with a chance of moving into the Big East scoring leadership tonight. He is now within 5 of tying Chris Mullen. Earl Kelly has been kind of quiet offensively tonight. 4 points for Connecticut.
Now, that's one of the reasons I think that Seton Hall is enjoying a 3-point lead in combination with McLeod's 10-point outburst. Kelly with 4. He's a very much a kind of player that can score in spurts, so he could have a lot before halftime's up.
McLeod rattles one in and out from the corner. Rebound falls into the hands of Ray Broxton. That's Terrence Warren, who is back in the ball game for UConn, playing the point guard. Has Kelly over on the right side and gives it instead to Fredericks here on the left. Warren to Kelly.
Is the 1-3-1 once again by Seton Hall, trying to spread out the UConn offense. UConn, on the other hand, will try to split the point man in the wing and look for jump shots.
Warren had one. That's the first one he's missed after he hit 2 in a row. Seton Hall this time down, chance to open up the largest lead of the ball game. They're up 3. That makes it 5. Burton. Good hard drive down the baseline left side. And it's a 5-point lead for Seton Hall. 0-15 in the Big East. This is the last one. And they would like to get a 1 up there. They won the last game of the regular season last year, beat Boston College in overtime.
Well, Seton Hall's been in a lot of ball games, losing some close ones this year, and they're playing very well in the first half of this game, particularly defensively.
Warren traveled just before he got that little shuffle pass off. So the turnover hands it back to Seton Hall.
Really, over the last 3 or 4 minutes, Seton Hall has been limiting UConn to 1 shot, particularly jump shots from the outside. And UConn's hit a cold spell during that stretch, while Seton Hall has been productive offensively.
This has been a 1-point Seton Hall, 1-point Connecticut ball game, but now a basket. Oh, that's a tough break for the Pirates. They came down with a chance to stretch it out to a 7-point lead. That's a tough break for P.J. Carlesimo's Pirates.
Well, when Mergen Sina got the ball in that close to the basket, about 5 feet from the hoop, at 6'5", 6'6", he can just pull up and take that short pop instead of trying to pass that one off.
Haven't seen Ransom Eads in the ball game for a while, have we?
We know when he comes out, though. He'll come out ready to shoot that ball.
Earl Kelly to Broxton. Major trying to steal it from behind. Pass was deflected by Burton, then went off the hands of Al Skinner Frederick and out of bounds.
That was a classic example of trying to do something with the ball before you have good possession, and Skinner was ready to send another one of those slam dunks down before he had good possession.
Well, Seton Hall has the chance again to stretch it out to a 7-point lead because of the Connecticut turnover at the other end. Major out on top. He will fire away. It's in there. 7-point Seton Hall lead. And the Pirates starting to put something together here in the first half with 1 minute and 42 seconds to play.
Well, big possession for UConn. They'd like to cut this lead to 5 and get their offense back in gear, which has really stalled over the last few minutes. The 1-3-1 extended has bothered them.
Pass was deflected in the middle by Seton. Connecticut hangs on to it, though, with 1 minute and 25 to play. Earl Kelly back to Warren.
Be a good opportunity to get Kelly back into the offense on this possession.
Double team there, gets the pass to Warren. Back to Kelly. Fakes a man. Now he'll fire. Got that one.
There he is. UConn needs Earl Kelly's offense, and he made a great pump fake that time to free himself up for the jumper.
1 minute and 3 seconds to go in the first half. It's a 5-point Seton Hall lead. The big fellows bringing it down. McLeod at 6'6", Bryant at 6'9". Shot clock shows 28. The scoreboard 51.
Guaranteeing UConn another possession if they can hold defensively here.
Cena, long range shot, back of the rim. Rebound to Jones. McLeod. And foul.
That was a big bounce for Seton Hall that time. It would have been an opportunity for UConn to bring the ball down and cut the lead to 3. Instead, the rebound bounced out very deeply. Mike Jones picked it up and made a fine feed to Andre McLeod, who drew the body foul from Ray Broxton, went down, got the roll, and can extend Seton Hall's lead to 7 points with this 3-point effort. Look at Jones with the feed. Ray Broxton got in just a half a step too late, and Andre McLeod did the rest.
Look at the reaction on the floor by McLeod. Fist in the air, laying on the floor. He already has 12 points, and over his career with Seton Hall, that's about what he's averaged per ball game against this Connecticut team, but he has come out tonight with potentially a big one.
Done it all in the first half so far.
And a 7-point lead for the Pirates. McLeod finishes off the 3-point play. There's his dad, the trophy of the camera. 37-29.
See if UConn holds for the last shot of this half. Try to take this thing in, regroup at halftime, and go in down by 6 if they can convert offensively. And they don't want to let Seton Hall get the ball back, so look for a shot under 10 seconds.
19 to play right now. Across to Warren on the drive. Almost lost it to Tim Coles. Coles has the basket. And 9 points in the first half. Seton Hall will have the last shot at it, it appears. 6 seconds to play. Bryant, big fella, way outside. Has the ball knocked away, lost it, and there's the buzzer, the end of the first half before the Huskies get another shot away. That's the end of the first half of action as P.J. Carlesimo strolls across the floor. The score is Seton Hall 37 and Connecticut 31. We'll be back right after this. Our halftime score, Seton Hall 37, Connecticut 31 here at Walsh Auditorium. At the end of this Big East season, the conference is losing one of the great ones. 31 years of coaching, Joe Mullaney of Providence. Dave Gavitt talked with him before the game against St. John's this afternoon.
Today's game marks the final regular season coaching appearance of Joe Mullaney, the great coach at Providence College. 31 years, an outstanding coach in the collegiate, NBA, ABA, and European and international basketball ranks. He's won over 350 games. His teams have participated in so many championships, and he's come so close to winning 2 major pro championships and did win 2 NIT championships. Above all, he's always been one of the real class guys, and today we had an opportunity for a chat with Joe Mullaney. Joe, today could mark the final regular season college coaching game for you. Do you ever reflect back on how this all started with the 1947 national championship at Holy Cross as a player?
Well, I'm forced to do that because I run into so many of my former teammates a lot. That was a very happy experience as a player. It was an extraordinary thing that happened to Holy Cross at that time.
You've had so many, you've been involved in so many extraordinary things. As you reflect back over the years, what seem to be the major changes you've seen in the style of the college game?
Well, I think the better coaching over the years. I think the fact that more things are done both offensively and defensively, and I guess maybe because of the media and TV and the fact there are so many clinics that most young coaches see all those things, and they're better equipped to handle a game today. And the coaching just much better today than it was years ago.
Joe, you've coached some great teams, championship teams in the NIT, and finalists in the Garden for the Lakers and the Stars and the ABA. Coached some great players. Jerry West.
Well, in the pros, the best player I ever had play for me over the time he played for me was Jerry West. I had Elgin Baylor, who was a great, great player, but Elgin was right at the end of his career at that time. So West was the best player I ever coached in the pros.
Coached a guy named Lenny Wilkins, 1960 NIT Most Valuable Player.
Well, Lenny was a special case because he was practically the first player we recruited at Providence College after I arrived in '54. Turned out to be an outstanding person and a great player, just improved, and I think over his entire career was the best player I coached in college, but I think Jimmy Walker might have been the best player in the 4 years he was at Providence College. He just came to Providence College probably a more finished product than Lenny was at that time.
Joe, I know that's a special thing for you. You follow your former players so closely, but there are two guys in the news today that must make you feel pretty good, John Thompson and Ray Flynn.
Well, Ray, because of politics, he's the mayor of Boston today, but just an outstanding young man who had to work for everything he's gotten in life as a player and as a person and in the business he's in now. Of course, Thompson was an extraordinary young man, too, as you know, because you were with me at the time that both of them played. Fine person, and I wasn't certain he'd become a coach. I just didn't have any idea. I knew he could be one if he wanted to be. He was a very intelligent person, but I just didn't have any idea he was thinking about that. But he's turned out to be a great one, and certainly credit to Providence College.
This team doesn't have any Ray Flynn's or John Thompsons, but I think it's been interesting how you've commented that they're a very special group for you. They've been a very unselfish group, and I think I can say for everybody that you've been very special for the game of basketball.
Joe Mullaney, and we'll be back with more of our halftime show right after this.
Welcome back to Walsh Auditorium, and with me as a halftime guest is P.J. Carlesimo, head coach for the Seton Hall Pirates. And P.J., a quick reflection on the season up to date and the importance of tonight's ball game.
Well, obviously, most important reason for tonight's game is for us to get a win. We have to get a win going into the tournament. We feel we've been competitive all year, but as you well know, we're still looking for our first Big East win. And after winning 9 games in December and feeling good about the way our people were playing, particularly our freshmen, it's been very disappointing to go through the Big East schedule so far without a win. But I think that we've improved as the year's gone on. The freshmen are playing very well. We're starting to get some contributions now from Mergensino off the bench, our 4th freshman. And we feel good about the Providence game, but obviously we can't be looking ahead. And, if we think we can go in there and win a game and be ready to play St. John's on Thursday, then we've got to be able to win a game in our own building against anybody in the league. And tonight, Connecticut's our last chance. So I think that we played well up in Stores, and we feel we're improving, and it's about time that we can get a win for it.
PJ, you've played in a lot of close games this year. 2 close games to Providence. BC at BC was a close one. You just had a close loss to Villanova at the Fieldhouse. If you could have won a couple of those games, obviously it would be a different story. How difficult is it once you've lost a couple of those games to try to get over that hump and win those close ones?
Well, I think the longer you go without a win, the tougher it is to get one. I think, when we lost a couple tough ones early, it was disappointing, but, the feeling was you're looking at a lot more games left as you get down to the tail end of the schedule, and it's happened time and time again. I think it's natural that subconsciously the players start to wonder themselves. I don't think it's something you really think about, but, the other night down at Villanova, we're tied with like 1:40 to go, and it looks like we've got a great opportunity to win, but, you got to think that maybe the Villanova players feel a little better about their chances in the last minute and a half than our guys do, and confidence is a very fragile thing, but I think more than anything else, it's based on experience and success. If you've been successful, you believe you're going to be successful again, and it's tough to be confident when you're losing games, and that's what we're fighting right now.
Just quickly, I want to get your thoughts on the tournament, PJ.
Well, I think it's obviously changed a little bit. The picture changed. I still like Georgetown or St. John's, which is no brilliant prediction, but I think Georgetown has kind of gotten the edge again. If they had won a close game, I think you'd feel St. John's over the long haul. St. John's is the regular season champ, but seeing what Georgetown did to them in Madison Square Garden, that negates a little bit the Garden edge that St. John's has. And I think everybody from the beginning of the year liked Georgetown. When they lost that game at Syracuse, it kind of threw the edge back to St. John's. And I think right now the way Georgetown is playing, and particularly St. John's coming off that loss, you got to go with Georgetown.
All right, and we wish you the best of luck Wednesday night against Providence. It's been P.J. Carlesimo with us. Stay with us for more halftime activities, and we'll be back with statistics.
about set to go in the second half. Seton Hall with a 6-point lead. Andre McLeod with 13 points, the leading scorer in the ball game. The numbers on the first half, shooting percentages identical for the two teams. 15 for 31, 15 for 31, 48%. Free throws where the difference is, Ron Perry.
Well, that's right. You can see the percentages on the free throws, but that 100% is deceiving for UConn. That's on 1 of 1, as you can see, and 7 for 8 for Seton Hall. That's the real difference in the ball game today. And also you can see the rebound advantage that Seton Hall enjoyed. 22-12, a 10 rebound bulge in the first half. Many of those on the defensive board. Keen fast break opportunities for Seton Hall and limiting UConn to just one shot, mainly towards the end of that first half when they built up the lead.
Or if you control the backboards like that, you're going to win a heck of a lot of basketball games.
Well, Seton Hall boxed out well, and their 1-3-1 zone defense was bothering UConn late in that first half. I'm sure Dom Perno talked about ball movement against the zone, trying to free up the man standing in front of us right now, Earl Kelly, as you see Dom Perno, and take a look at what they might have talked about at halftime. But one had to have been rebounding, ball movement against that zone, and better defense on the part of UConn to stop Seton Hall on their offense.
As we talk in the first half, over the years that Andre McLeod has, okay, first of all, Connecticut scoring. Coles on top with 9, Broxton and Kelly 6 apiece, Frederick with 4, Warren with 4, King with 2, only man in foul trouble, Broxton with 3, and Seton Hall is led by Andre McLeod. McLeod has 13 points. All right, we don't see him on there, but Bryant with 6, Jones and Major 2 each. Sally has 8, Eves 2, and Burton with 4, but McLeod with 13. Okay, we got some trouble with the shot clock, so we may have a bit of a delay before the second half gets underway. But the thing being that over the years, McLeod, as we talked in the first half, hasn't had that much success offensively against Connecticut. But here he's come out with a big first half, 13 first half points. What do you expect to see Dom Perno do?
Well,
with that
so this is a good look at Andre McLeod. He's certainly had a consistent career. He's chasing the scoring lead right now in the Big East. Dom Perno has been a big proponent this year of trying to take out of the game the best player for the other team. We saw him against Raphael Addison for Syracuse a week ago, when for the second time this year UConn upset Seton Hall at the Hartford Civic Center, and he played Raphael Addison a box and one much of the second half. I wouldn't be surprised if Andre comes out and hits his first jump shot or gets free on the baseline and connects, to see one of UConn's players pick him up man-to-man and the rest of the team to play that box or 2-2 zone defense to try to make other players pick up the scoring slack and take the key player as much as possible out of the game by denying him the ball. He's been a big user of that kind of defense this year.
Well, McLeod shot 6 for 9 in the first half, and it appears that they have the problem with the shot clock straightened out. And to begin the second half, Connecticut will have the ball at midcourt. Earl Kelly will play it in. Earl just waiting to get the basketball and get this second half underway. Score stands 37-31. Was Patrick Ewing the first man to wear the T-shirt under there? I mean, I know it used to happen years and years ago. And then Patrick started doing it, and then everybody started doing it.
I remember Dale Shackelford wearing it for Syracuse when I was in college. Oftentimes a player gets a cold or some kind of a flu or something, puts it on, has a good game, and then stays with it, just like Lou Connor-Seco with his sweater this year. That was pretty humorous when John Thompson showed up with the same sweater at Madison Square Garden this past week. But it can be a superstitious kind of thing. Then it gets comfortable, and then you go with it. But Pat Ewing certainly got a craze started.
He's stalking P.J. Carlesimo. Louis, by the way, stayed with the sweater today, even though they had lost the game to Georgetown back on Wednesday. Yeah, still wearing the sweater.
Tom, the beginning of this second half is very important, particularly, well, for both teams, but for UConn to try to close that gap, play very aggressive ball, and really play to win, because they have an important goal in doing that, to try to tie BC up in the standings and get the number 6 seed going into the tournament. So the early going, we'll see who comes out the more aggressive defensively and takes charge.
By the way, Terrence Warren starting the second half for Connecticut. With the ball now. Kelly. Faking, top of the key. Broxton, right side. Back to Kelly. Broxton again. Cross court, Warren. Warren, the local kid, played awfully well in the first half and gets a starting shot in the second half, and Kelly drills it.
Well, that's certainly the kind of start that Don Perno wanted the team to get Kelly into the offense. Good ball movement against the 1-3-1, and that's as high a percentage shot as you can get with Kelly taking the 15-footer.
37-33, Seton Hall by 4. Cross court, Sally in the corner. Can't find McLeod down under. Looked for him in there for the little bounce pass. And the Pirates will set up again. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Just underway in the second half. McLeod to Sally in close. Rolls it up. Won't go. Skinner Frederick hauls a rebound out of there for the Huskies. 18 minutes and 50 seconds to go. Second half. Broxton the corner. Back to Kelly. Back and forth they go. Broxton again. Kelly again.
You can see UConn in their 2-1-2 set against the 1-3-1 to offset that defense, and that's good ball movement once again.
Get it over to the other corner after playing with it on the right side. Frederick misses, and Coles chased down the rebound. Brand new shot clock for the Huskies.
You didn't see UConn getting too many of these second efforts towards the end of that first half.
And as they get the ball into Coles, there is a whistle. Yeah, on Bryant. There were only 2 fouls called in the first half on Seton Hall.
And there were only 7 called on Connecticut, so we only had a total of 9, so it made for a very quick half. And the free throws weren't a major factor, although it provided the spread with Seton Hall hitting 7 free throws.
Broxton puts one off the rim, comes up with a loose ball rebound, and is going to be tied up in a jump ball. No, it may be a travel. One referee calling jump ball, and the other said no, they got him on the wrist. So Broxton is going to be to the line. He'll take the free throws. Let's look at it again, Ronnie.
Well, what happens on this occasion is the ball comes off, there's some contact underneath. Broxton finally picks it up. Now, the referee, who had a very good angle on it, came in and called the reach-in foul. I think he made the proper call because he had the good view of it. The official who was blocked out had called a jump ball. I think that was a good job coordinating with the referees.
Broxton has the first 7 points on the night. 37-34. Seton Hall yet to score in the second half. Broxton with another.
It's a lot of debate over 3 officials in a game, but that time it certainly worked well because one of them was planted perfectly in position to see that reach in.
Seton Hall with a 6-point lead at the half. Now it's down to just 2. 18 minutes even left in the second half. Sally with the ball, looks inside, goes into the corner. 25 on the shot clock. Bryant way out. There's Sally again, another freshman. It's McLeod and Sally. Bryant with position inside. They get it to him, and he put it on the floor once. And I thought it went off his knee, but instead off a Connecticut Husky.
I agree with you. I thought it bounced off his leg too, but I didn't see much of an argument on the part of Coles or Frederick, so maybe someone did get a hand on it and help that ball out of bounds.
37-35. 2-point Seton Hall lead. McLeod rises and drills another one. 15 points for Andre McLeod. At the moment, he is 1 away from tying Chris Mullen for the Big East scoring leadership for the year.
Well, UConn did a pretty good job picking him up the first few times down court, but he made a great move that time.
Get the ball to Warren, misses, rebound to Frederick. Back up and in for the Huskies. 6 points for Skinner.
3/4 court pressure by UConn, and it's down to Ransom Eves. He'll probably go up with it. No, good pass.
Awfully nice pass. Sally ended up with it. Pass by Eves as he went baseline. The foul is a blocking call.
Well, you can see UConn pressuring. This is the end of the play after Seton Hall had broken the pressure, and Eves made a good bounce pass inside to Sally after drawing the UConn defense toward him.
Seton Hall with the inbounds and a 2-point lead, 39-37. McLeod. Eves, top of the horn, position again by Bryant. And as the bodies were banging around in there, Bryant trying to establish position against Coles. Foul was called. And this one's against Connecticut. McLeod, number 2 on the inbounds. That one was on Coles.
UConn is packing that 1-2-2 zone and trying to find Andre McLeod and then box out.
Eves didn't hesitate at all. He got the ball and just put her up there.
Ransom generally doesn't, but he's a very streaky shooter. If he hits his first couple, he can be very tough.
Kelly has 4 points so far tonight. Kelly and Broxton back and forth again on the right side. Broxton heads for the baseline, fouled by Jones.
You can see the ball movement by UConn. Ray Broxton makes a good move. Baseline, gets a step on Mike Jones, who reaches in and commits the foul on the play.
Kind of with an upward karate chop. In for Broxton to Kelly. Kelly motions Terry Warren over, and they play with it. Fredericks and Warren on the left side. Now back to Broxton and Kelly. At the same time, looking for Coles, and they find the man open behind the zone. Al Fredericks, as the zone paid attention to the two folks exchanging the passes, and Fredericks found an open spot in there, and Broxton hit him nicely.
Now Skinner snuck in behind Ransom Eves and didn't even bother coming down with that pass as he caught it in midair and banked it home.
Frederick has 8 points. Retaliation by Ransom Eves, who's on one of his streaks.
Well, he feels that ball. If in particular, if he starts feeling hot, he'll definitely put it up there. But that's 2 in a row for him. UConn better get a hand in his face.
Kelly and Broxton working that right side again. Broxton fires. And got it. 10 points. First man to hit dubs for the Huskies. Ray Broxton. Seton Hall down quickly. Sally misses. Rebound. Bryant fakes and looked like he might have traveled in there, but that's not going to be the call. That basket will count, and Bryant was fouled.
Now Mark Bryant just happened to be in the right place, right time that time as the ball bounced over the UConn rebounders. And you see Terry Coffey, the very rugged 6'2", 200-pound guard for UConn, only a freshman, but Mark Bryant might have shuffled his feet before he went up for that shot, but there was a lot of contact, and he definitely got hit on the play.
And Terry Coffey, 6'2" freshman, Washington, D.C., from Merritt High School. As an all-D.C. metro area first-team selection last year, some people said he might be the top sleeper in the East as we look at Mark Bryant. Bryant misses the free throw, and Coles gets the rebound. Coffey started the ball game and then didn't play that much in the first half. Al Frederick fires again, misses. Rebound, Broxton slammed it off the glass, got it, and scored. Knocked it out of Andre McLeod's hands from behind. The ball came back to him off of the glass. Broxton got a second chance at it.
UConn has come out in the second half much more aggressively defensively and off the boards, and Broxton's play that time was indicative of that aggressive board play.
10-second call, and Connecticut will have it back. But there is a timeout on the action right now at 14:55 in the second half. The score, Seton Hall 45, Connecticut 43. We'll be right back after this. 45-43, your score. Seton Hall up by 7 at the half, but now it's down to just 2, having played 5 minutes and 5 seconds of this second half. Another member of the Pirate cheerleading squad.
UConn has opened up much more aggressively in this second half of action, particularly defensively and on the boards. And Ray Broxton has come out like a ball of fire with 4 points in the second half, but he's done some good board work as well.
Well, Connecticut with a ball, chance to tie. Earl Kelly moving right, they clear it out. Kelly could have fired and didn't to Frederick. Gets a screen from Coffey, top of the key. Continues left side. Back to Kelly once more. Another big screen by Brockton out at the high post. Broxton has it back. One dribble, fires and misses. Seton Hall with a rebound.
Sometimes it looks too easy when you're that wide open, so Ray Broxton said, wait a minute, I can't be this open. Took a bounce and then missed the shot.
So the Pirates try it at their end. Bryant, big fella, 18-footer. He's hit a couple of those. I guess maybe I'm a believer.
Good ball movement by Seton Hall as they come up with a steal.
Ransom Eves. Jones lays it in there for McLeod, and he's hit from behind. Terry Coffey, I think, got him from behind. behind, and McLeod will be at the line. Here's that play.
Well, UConn caught sleeping a little bit. I don't think Ray Broxton knew that Ransom Eves was there with Earl Kelly. Eves came up with the good steal, and Mike Jones made the feed to McLeod, who's very strong inside, and he got hacked by Terry Coffey, as you get a good look at Terry Coffey on the play.
Well, McLeod is now 1 point behind Chris Mullen in that Big East scoring leadership. Could tie it, could go ahead. That's 3:21. Andre McLeod now tied with Chris Mullen. Mullen, of course, regular season is over as of this afternoon when he had 18. A win over Providence. McLeod missed it. He'll stay tied. Burton with a rebound, and now he's fouled. Had the ball off the floor. Somebody reached in, got a piece of him, and Burton will go to the line, but Connecticut wants a timeout as the Seton Hall lead is back up to 5 at 48-43 with 14 minutes and 2 seconds to play. There's your beast. Waddling out to the center of the court is the Seton Hall cheerleading squad. They have two mascots, both the Critter and the Pirate. And those, ladies and gentlemen, are neither of the two. And we are in the second half with 14:02 to go. There's a timeout on the action. The score is Seton Hall 48, Connecticut 43. We'll be back right after this. All right, apologize. Missed just a shade of action, just enough down at the other end for Andre McLeod to get another basket for the Seton Hall Pirates and put them up by 7. And that equals their largest lead of the ball game back from the first half of play. Connecticut with it, Kelly. Bears off right side, and McLeod is now the leading scorer in the Big East Conference with that last hoop. Gives him 322, 323. And a Seton Hall foul on Ricky Burton, who came on during that timeout. Why a timeout at that spot in the ballgame, Ron?
Tom Perno felt that Seton Hall was just being more aggressive than UConn, so Tom called that timeout, switched the team into a man-to-man defense, and said to his team, we have to play more aggressive defensively, continue to hit the boards, and pass that ball more aggressively. So I think he just talked about basically coming out and just taking over this thing, because Seton Hall has really come to play tonight.
Seton Hall has every reason to believe that they can win this basketball game. Warren to Frederick. Baseline jumper short. Seton Hall runs back with it. Mike Jones. Eves, Jones. 13:03 to go in the ball game. 50-43 Seton Hall. 0-15 in their last regular season game, leading by 7, make it 9.
They're not playing like a team that's lost 15 in a row in the Big East tonight. Seton Hall is moving the ball, playing aggressive defense, and canning shots like that one.
That one by Mike Jones, and he has 4 points. Bucket in the first half, now 1 in the second. Huskies swinging over to the right side. Back for Kelly. Kelly in traffic, swatted away by Andre McLeod. McLeod came over the top, got it from behind, and it's Seton Hall's basketball.
That was a patented Earl Kelly move, kind of slicing his way in there. Little body contact by Andre McLeod that time, but he did get all ball on the block.
Inside for the turnaround by Ransom Eves. He's fouled by Terrence Warren, and right now everything going Seton Hall's way.
Now the one thing about UConn this year, though, in several games they fell behind early and always kept their poise, and Don Perno is hoping right now, as he talks things over with his assistants, that the team will keep their poise and just chip away 2 at a time. But they've done that successfully this year, been behind and been able to keep their composure, get it 2 at a time, play good defense, and get back into ball games.
Ransom Eves with that free throw now with 7 points. Wonder how long it's been since that man has seen his team lead in the Big East by 10 points. 11. Ransom Eves, who had 17 points the first time these two teams met, now has 8. 54-43.
Well, Seton Hall had Villanova on the ropes this past week at the Villanova Fieldhouse, and Villanova just pulled it out at the very end, and then Seton Hall was leading much of that ball game.
Ended up a 5-point Villanova a win. Nice ball movement. They get it over to Broxton with a 10-foot jumper down the baseline.
Yeah, that's what good passing does for you, especially if you get it into a fellow like Ray Broxton's hands.
Eddie Williams, who played just a few minutes in the first half, checks back into the Huskies lineup. There he is, number 22, and he replaces Terrence Warren. Pulls up a chair. And Eves will be at the free throw line. He was there just a couple of seconds ago. Hit them both. About a 73, 74% free throw shooter, averaging 9 points a game. Ransom playing his last ball game on the parquet here at Walsh Auditorium. He is a senior. Transferred here last year from Pasadena Community College, 6'4", from Altadena, California.
Playing a good, solid ball game tonight and shooting it extremely well.
He'd been a little bit of a slump, but hit double figures only one of the last 7 games. Coming into this one, misses that free throw. 10-point lead for the Seton Hall Pirates.
UConn looking for a spark, and that man who just passed it off, Earl Kelly, has been the man all year who has provided that spark.
What a play by Ricky Burton. To Jones, trailing for Bryant with a jam. This Seton Hall crowd is alive. And a timeout is called for as high fives are the order of the day over at the Seton Hall bench. For a team that's 0-15 and doesn't have a large crowd here tonight, there is some excitement going on at Walsh Auditorium.
UConn's been able to keep the crowd out of the game for the most part, but they're in it right now, Tom.
Timeout in the action. The score is Seton Hall 57, Connecticut 45. We'll be back after this.
He was recruited by every major college in the nation, but he chose to remain in his home state. Middletown's Cornelius Corny Thompson accomplished so very much during his career. On this Saturday afternoon, his jumper from the foul line would beat St. John's for the Huskies in front of a packed house in Hartford. Corny Thompson living a great moment in Husky history.
You watch this and you wonder why this team is 0-15.
Ricky Burton with a good deflection of the Earl Kelly pass. Then he steals the ball, and Mike Jones makes a great feed here over to Mark Bryant for the slam dunk, which brought the McDonough Auditorium fans to their feet.
57-45, Connecticut with the ball, down 12.
Walsh Auditorium.
Walsh Auditorium. Those Hoya guys play at McDonough,
That's right.
Warren. Over for Eddie Williams. Back to Warren in the corner. Is Frederick. Well, that'll quiet him down a little bit. Connecticut needed a hoop somewhere in there, and that's 10 points for Al Frederick. At the other end, though, to Burton. Flips it up. Boy, everything is happening right for the Pirates.
Ricky Burton really giving the Pirates a big lift, particularly defensively, but that was a great move under the basket.
Frederick, and there's contact. Jones and Skinner Frederick. That foul will go against Seton Hall's number 4, Mike Jones, senior, Raleigh, North Carolina.
The Pirate foul is on number 4, Mike Jones.
Well, there's plenty of time left in this game, but down by 12 with over 10 to go in the game. Don Perna would like to see the Huskies try to trim that lead 2 at a time and certainly work it under 10 as this ball game starts to wind down.
The crowd is not large, as I mentioned a moment ago, but it's getting pretty vocal. I'm sure he wouldn't mind getting the crowd out of this thing, too, because this Pirates basketball team is charged up. There's a basket for Eddie Williams, his first in several weeks. He, of course, has been out with that wrist injury for 13 ball games. McLeod tried to go behind the back, lost it, it's still loose. Scramble for it. Terrence Warren doesn't quite have it. Still doesn't. Seton Hall comes up with it. Burton scores.
That was just a case of the slippery hands. It seemed like no one could quite pick that ball up until Burton, who's playing great defense, came up with it again.
That was just strange.
Andre McLeod. Thought he had that one cleanly.
No, it just the ball was loose on the floor for so long and nobody could find it. All right, let's watch this one again.
Well, here's the anticipation by Andre McLeod. Was that a reach-in foul? Got a piece of Eddie Williams' hand. He doesn't think so as he gives it to high step down the court. He looks like a pretty good running back right
tight
there.
end. Andre Williams is having a good good time with some smiles. He's having a nice ball game for himself. He has 18 for the game. Currently the Big East leading scorer again. Williams has his free throw. 3 points now.
Well, Eddie Williams certainly timed his comeback very nicely before the Big East tournament. This is giving him some valuable playing minutes before UConn goes to the tournament, and they need his scoring in the second half of this ball game.
Got 2, and his 4 points have come within the last minute and a half. 61-51 is your score, a 10-point Seton Hall lead for the 0-15 Pirates.
Soft three-quarter court pressure by UConn, and now they're settling down into a 1-3-1, hoping to force the outside jump shot.
And they do. Short. Bryant, though, with a rebound, has it knocked away. Big scramble again. This time, well, Kelly had it, stolen back by Bryant. Pirates with a new shot clock. Into the corner and out again. The other side. Other corner, McLeod. Eves open, will fire. Off the mark, short. Jones with the rebound again. No whistle. Ball rolls out. There is a whistle from down under the basket.
That'll be a foul on Earl Kelly going for that loose ball.
Earl Kelly, not a happy-looking young man. There's the shot by Eves. The ball comes way out long. Kelly makes a dive.
Good hustle, but he got a lot of Mike Jones as both players tumble to the ground. And if anything, though, for UConn, at least he went after that ball pretty aggressively.
Jones at the free throw line for the first time tonight. Got the roll. He has 5 points. Seton Hall was 7 out of 8 from the line in the first half. They are 5 out of 7 here in the second half unofficially. Jones tries another one. Got the roll again. Living right.
These possessions become important ones for UConn as we near the 9-minute mark. UConn down by a dozen. Earl Kelly will probably get very involved in the offense, but that was a great feed to Ray Broxton.
They cleared it out for Kelly on the right side, and then Broxton came down the baseline and set it up low. He got himself a little turnaround jumper.
Good old-fashioned two-man basketball as UConn puts Broxton and Kelly on the same side, and Ray Broxton knows what to do with that ball when he gets it inside and gets fouled on the made field goal.
Broxton having a good night. And at the free throw line adds that one to it. 6 in the first half and 11 already here in the second for 17. And at midcourt, Cole's trying for the steal. It's Jones, and Jones going to go back to the line.
What it really comes down to when you're trying to make a comeback or make up a deficit in a game like this is good, solid defense. UConn gambling a little bit right now. They'll have to hope for a couple of missed one-on-ones because the one-on-ones, as both teams are in the bonus opportunity, be very important factors in this second half.
33, Jerry Besselink, sophomore, is in for Connecticut. 6'9", South Kingston, Ontario. Here is Mike Jones once more. He hit a couple just a minute ago. Both of them rattled around a bit. That one's about as good as you can get. P.J. Carlesimo's club up by 10. Looking for their first Big East win. 16 in a row they've lost going back to the tournament last year. Jones misses the second of those two. And all 15 this year. 64-54 Pirates. Williams got up, changed his mind about the shot. Pass deflected off the backboard, picked up by Seton Hall's Andre McLeod. Pirates come down 8 minutes and 39 seconds. Underneath for Bryant. Good strong move for the jumper. And foul.
Well, Mike Jones is playing a very good game at the point tonight for Seton Hall, and he threads the needle that time. And Mark Bryant went up strongly, and look at Andre McLeod almost take the basket down. Take my word for it, he went up and wanted to send that through on the follow-up.
Well, note this. That's the 4th personal foul on Al Frederick.
Now, that could loom important as well. Eddie Williams, though, is available and playing in this ball game, and he hasn't been around for the past month and a half, so Don Perno's glad to have Eddie there. And Jerry Besselink, of course, off the bench, as well as Jeff King, can also supply some needed board work.
First one by Bryant is good. Likewise, that's 14 points for the freshman. And back to a 12-point lead for Seton Hall. Kelly across the timeline with Eves out there to meet him. Now Seton Hall sinks back in that 2-3 zone. Kelly plays the point. Frederick left side under for Williams, and something happened under there. No whistle, and Frederick comes up with it, puts it in the hole. Skinner stays in the ball game with 4 fouls. At the other end, steal by Eddie Williams with help from Jerry Besselink. Even 8 minutes to play.
Well, so far, Seton Hall has been able to withstand any surge that UConn's attempted to make, but here's an opportunity for UConn to cut within 10.
Pass is knocked away by Burton, and how do they call it?
Great play.
Yeah, nice play. Knocked it back in off Broxton. I wasn't sure whether he had his foot out of bounds when he made it, but here it is.
Well, Ricky Burton will jump up in the air right here before the ball goes out and send it off Ray Broxton. And Ray Broxton, in effect, is the last person that ball touched before it went out of bounds. Credit Burton, who's played solid defense in this second half.
Seton Hall down again. Bryant, 15-footer. And the battle for the rebound. Besselink involved in it, along with, was it Frederick?
Now, P.J. Carlissimo has a good point.
The other way.
That's right. It's on Mark Bryant, and P.J. was pointing to the outside official, saying that was really your call. The underneath official actually made the call on the play. He may have been able to see it, but P.J. felt he had a pretty good view and pointed to the official right next to him and said, hey, maybe you see it the way I do. We certainly didn't follow on that play.
There you have him. Mr. Carlissimo. Coached in New England a while. New Hampshire College, I believe it was. Wagner took him to the NIT 3 times. Terry Warren, number 20, is back in for UConn. He's the youngster from nearby Irvington. Played at Newark Central as Besselink. Drops the first of his free throws in there. Front end of a 1-and-1, and that's his first point of the night. Overall, not the best free throw shooter around as he misses that one. And the rebound comes down Seton Hall. The Pirates will call for a timeout here, nursing the 9-point lead with 7 minutes and 26 seconds to play in regulation in this one. Seton Hall Pirates gathering around P.J. Carlissimo and the Connecticut Huskies around Dom Perno. Timeout in the action at Walsh Auditorium at 66-57. Seton Hall over Connecticut. We'll be right back after this. Sure to join us for the 1985 Big East Tournament Championship, March 7th, 8th, and 9th, as TCS Metro Sports brings you all the pageantry, the excitement of tournament action from Madison Square Garden, the quarterfinals to the tournament championship finale. Check your local listings for the games and the times in your area. And a loss for the University of Connecticut Huskies here tonight means Georgetown.
Well, that's not something anyone in the league certainly would be interested in doing. So UConn, with 7:26 remaining and down by 9, would certainly like to create a win for themselves in a tie with Boston College, and a coin flip would then determine the 6th place team and give UConn that opportunity. Of course, the 6th place team will play either Syracuse or Villanova.
And that's no walk in the park.
That's right.
66-57. Seton Hall by 9 with a basketball. 7:11 to go. Jones tries to get it inside, and it's stolen away by Al Frederick, who was looking for McLeod. Kelly almost lost it, caught it before it went out of bounds in the corner, has it knocked away as he was double teamed by Jones and McLeod.
It's getting to be around that time when UConn would want to make a run at Seton Hall before this thing gets down to desperation time, and that man, Earl Kelly, has been someone who's been able to take games over himself many times this year. We'll see if he tries to really look for himself offensively.
Just 8 points, 6 in the first half, only 1 basket early in the second for Earl Kelly. One of the top scorers in the Big East. He hit the Seton Hall club with 26 points first ball game. Seton Hall foul. That's on Ricky Burton.
He's been quiet tonight. There haven't been that many opportunities that have just been there for him. But I look for a player of his caliber down the stretch to have the ball in his hands more often and just try to create something.
Al Frederick, 6'5", senior, Stamford, Connecticut. As the first one, he's out of West Hill High School, spent a little time at Mattatuck Community College. Had a fine career there. And on to Storrs.
He's running a 13-game stretch where he's played extremely well. It happened when Eddie Williams dislocated that wrist early January at Syracuse, and Frederick has played extremely well since that time.
Pops home, a couple of free throws there. It's down to a 7-point lead. It has been up to 12. So the Huskies starting to make some slight inroads.
Now they're making a bit of a run right here. The one thing Seton Hall wants to do is keep doing those things that got them the lead, and that was playing aggressive ball both offensively and defensively. They don't want to just sit on this lead. They'll try to work the clock and then get it in the hands of either McLeod or maybe Bryant.
Leeds has it now. High post for the big freshman, Bryant. McLeod fires corner. Short. Bryant, though, with a rebound. One fake and bam.
Big basket by Mark Bryant. He came in like a qualifier, made a great rebound and follow-up dunk.
An impressive-looking freshman. So are a couple of the other ones that have been out there for the Pirates. Inside Coles, fakes on Bryant. Now goes up. Bryant with a rebound. Lead pass. Burton. Two more. Seton Hall.
Seton Hall just beat UConn down the floor that time with good heads-up play by Mike Jones, who's really come off the bench and played very well passing that ball.
They had the lead down to 7. Very quickly it jumped back up to 11. But there's an answer by Terrence Warren. Other end, Andre McLeod.
Well, Tom Curnow wants a timeout. He's upset that 2 times in a row that the Pirates have really beaten UConn down the floor, and Tom Curnow doesn't like what he sees.
So the margin stays at 11 with 5 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Both teams are into the 1-1. Connecticut has begun to inch up a couple of times, and each time Seton Hall's come back with a response. That big slam by Bryant, and then the basket by McLeod just before this timeout as they beat him down the court.
UConn had narrowed that lead, though, to 7, started to make that kind of run, and the only way to follow up that kind of run is to complement it with good, solid defense after a score, and that's 2 times in a row that Seton Hall rebounded the UConn miss and really pushed it up court and beat UConn down the floor. Don Pernow's talking right now about good ball movement and high percentage shots offensively, and then I wouldn't be surprised to just see UConn match up defensively and really get back defensively, but match up and play people man-to-man. On the other hand, PJ's talking about working the clock, remaining aggressive, taking some time off the clock, but still going right after the hoop.
At the same time, you're seeing, well, that's the Connecticut huddle, but where Seton Hall is gathered. An unusual situation. Are you in at all a situation like we haven't been here very often? Up 11, 5 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Do you start to change maybe what you're doing because it's an unusual situation? How do you go about holding on to an 11-point lead for 5 minutes and 20 seconds?
I don't think you want to hold on to it. I think PJ talked to Seton Hall about continuing to play the same way that they were, going right at things, but of course playing with their heads, taking some time off the clock.
Some nice ball movement inside. Williams with a basket. Ball never hit the floor. Williams now with 6 points, all of them here in the second half. Played a few minutes of the first. Wrist injury, back for the first time in 13 games, beginning to assert himself in the second half. McLeod inside, misses. Bryant again, rolls off. Next rebound, Huskies. Broxton to Warren trailing. Frederick will go baseline. Bryant got a piece of that. Lead pass, Burton. 2-on-1, he's fouled. Beat him down the floor again. Warren with no choice but to foul the man Burton.
Ricky Burton, again, has played very well off the bench tonight, both defensively and offensively. He'll get a hand on this shot inside. Oh, actually, that was Mark Bryant. And then Mike Jones, who's really had his head up, a la the former Celtic Nate Archibald with those long court passes, hits Ricky Burton, and Terrence Warren prevents the easy layup.
Well, 4 minutes and 32 seconds. Keep a close watch on the clock for you. 72-63, Seton Hall leading by 9.
It's not only getting back defensively for UConn, it's also picking up the Seton Hall guards in the backcourt, putting pressure on them so they can't just pick people out up court.
Burton, who is just about a 50% free throw shooter and has 10 points tonight, misses the first one. Got that one. Back to a 10-point lead. Connecticut, Broxton. Crowd here wanted to travel.
I think Ray got away with one right there.
Kelly has done more passing than shooting. Down the baseline, Frederick. Reverse layup off the glass. Kissed it.
Excellent ball movement by UConn, and it's now down to about 4 minutes to go. And this is really crunch time. UConn needs to bear down defensively, rebound, and go down and be effective offensively. They can't afford to just trade baskets with Seton Hall at this point.
Over the last couple of years, Seton Hall has had their problems in the Big East. They have come into some games leading late, but left losing. Eves from the corner and misses. And the foul is on the Pirates.
I'm not sure that's the shot that PJ wanted that time. The long rainbow by Ransom Eves from the corner. Would have preferred to see that ball swing back one more time and possibly work it inside or get it into McLeod's hands.
Well, that's a key foul, too. That is the 4th on a big guy, Bryant, who has been such a stalwart, especially on the backboards. He's also scored 16 points. Broxton with the free throw. And it's good. So it's down to a 7-point lead again. The Huskies starting to chop it down. Broxton got it again. 6-point ball game. Three minutes and 41 seconds to play. And it stops at 3:40.
That's on Skinner Frederick trying to deny the ball to Andre McLeod, and we've got our count right, Tom. That should be number 5 on Skinner.
Yeah.
A big loss for UConn. He was really going at it with Andre McLeod, trying to deny the ball, working very tough around the foul line defensively, but just leaned too much. And it was picked up underneath the basket. As you can see, Andre McLeod with his hands up in the air. And there was a lot of contact by Skinner Frederick. He was really playing his heart out right there. But unfortunately for Don Perno, just fouled out of the ball game.
The junior college All-American from Stanford is gone with 16 points. 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Connecticut chopped it down now to only a 6-point lead for Seton Hall with Andre McLeod at the free throw line. Missed it. And that's a big one for the Huskies.
That was a big one. The free throws really are critical down the stretch, really at any time. But this gives UConn an opportunity to close to 4.
Pass goes off the hands of Earl Kelly. Out of bounds. Seton Hall will have it back. And that is not the kind of thing the Huskies need to try to get back into this thing and win it with 3.5 to go. 3:17. Bryant lost it, but it goes off. Tim Coles. He's described as the self-appointed vocal leader of the Huskies basketball team, and he is an enthusiastic young man.
He comes to play, and he really picks up the team, and they love him at his home court when he gets out there and really hustles.
3:10 to go. Seton Hall with the ball way over on the other side of the floor. Ransom Eves, is that who it is? No, is it Sally?
I think it was Terrence Warren throwing Ransom Eves to the ground. I didn't see exactly what happened, but
I was talking about the man on the ground.
Terrence Warren must have been involved with shoving Ransom Eves. The next thing I saw was Ransom was laid out on the ground with an opportunity for a one-on-one free throw.
So that's Warren's 4th personal foul. It was away from the ball, but if you look at the top of the screen, There it is.
A little academy action, too, on the part of Ransom Eves, but there was definitely a push shot.
Well, at least we know why he ended up on his back now.
That's right.
Eves, though, misses another front end of a 1-and-1. And a chance to come within 4. Eddie Williams for UConn. Out for Kelly. 3 minutes to go. Broxton in the corner. Kelly inside. Coles pushing and shoving on the big guy Bryant. The shot comes from the corner. Eddie Williams.
Well, Eddie Williams is just picking up where he left off, making a critical jump shot right there and closing the gap to 4. We'll see how Seton Hall responds. They'd like to get it into Andre McLeod's hands.
Bryant.
Mark Bryant's not bad either, though.
Not tonight. He's not. Big freshman's had a good one. And they lose the ball out of bounds.
That's 2 times, really, in the last 4 or 5 possessions that UConn has just thrown that ball out of bounds. That's concentration. That's picking up the other person's eyes, but they can't afford that kind of a turnover when they bring it down offensively.
Well, they had it down to 4. And there are a couple of folks going down. Let's see how they call that one. Eddie Williams trying to get position on number 14, Ransom Eves. Didn't get it done. And Williams picks up that personal foul, just his first.
Offensively, Earl Kelly just hasn't seemed to be able to get into the offense in the second half. He only has 2 points in the second half, total of 8 for the game. And for UConn to really make that run and do it down the stretch, they've relied heavily on him all year. A lot of pressure on him, but I look for him to try to make a few moves offensively.
Another 1-and-1. Eves gets this one. It's double figures for Ransom, 10. 76-69. Seton Hall trying to ride this one out. Connecticut Huskies trying to scratch back in. A couple of costly turnovers, though. And they have lost Al Frederick on fouls as Eves drops both in there. That's 11 points for Eves. 77-69. 8-minute, 8-point lead. 2:15 to play. Warren to Williams. Cross-court Kelly. Kelly's first shot in a long time. Misses. Seton Hall with a rebound. That's Burton with the ball, or with the rebound. And we are under 2 minutes to play.
Look for Seton Hall to just spread the floor and try to work it around. UConn trying to trap out of the 1-3-1, get a steal if possible. And they should reach in if they get the opportunity to try to stop this clock.
You look around at this crowd in Walsh Auditorium, you'd think that Seton Hall was playing for something big. Everybody's on their feet. They are simply looking for their first Big East win of the year and to end a 15-game losing streak. That's McLeod in the corner.
Shot clock down. Oh, big basket by Andre McLeod.
He's had a lot of them. That's 22 for McLeod. That makes it a 10-point ball game again, and it's 1 minute 14 seconds. The tip-in is blocked by McLeod. Burton goes to the floor. The travel is called, and UConn will have possession. Burton on the floor with it.
Good call by Mickey Crowley under the basket as Ricky Burton went down. Ricky Burton playing with one of those air casts on his left ankle, similar to the one that Terry Coffey wears on his right ankle.
So the Huskies needing a lot of points in a very short period of time.
And they need them quickly, and then to call a timeout so that they can set up their press.
Kelly goes one-on-one, and the foul will go against Seton Hall, and Earl Kelly will go to the free throw line. Held with only 8 points so far tonight.
Now this will be all-out pressure by UConn if Earl Kelly can connect on the free throws to try to make a steal or to try to get a quick reach in and stop that clock. So that's where you have the opportunity with the reach in, either get into the game. If Seton Hall can convert, they can pull this thing away.
Earl Kelly, the junior from Wilbur Cross High in New Haven. Big East Rookie of the Year in 82-83, 2 years ago. Needed that one. And this one on the 1-and-1, 79-70. And he got both of them. Minute 3. They get it into McLeod. 1 minute, less than a minute to play. McLeod holding for Seton Hall. Double team.
Look for the reach-in foul.
To Jones. Who would they want to foul? And there's the man they choose. They go for Burton, who is just about a 52% free throw shooter. And so far tonight, 3 out of 4.
He's played extremely well tonight, although his percentage for the year isn't that terrific. Played an excellent floor game, and he's the man that'll go to the line right now. Good decision, though, by UConn. With 50 seconds left, they have to stop this clock, which is their biggest enemy.
Ricky Burton, 1-1. Front of the rim and the back of the rim, and then it went through. Here's your whole situation. Seton Hall by 9, 50 seconds to go, 1-1 both ways. Ricky Burton once more. Both of them. 10-point lead, 48 seconds. Kelly in traffic, fires away, misses. Rebound, Eddie Williams spins it up.
Watch for the timeout by UConn. They've got it.
That was a heck of a move by Eddie Williams, who has double figures at 10 now. There is a timeout here at Walsh Auditorium with 41 seconds to play. Seton Hall, 81, Connecticut, 73. We'll be back right after this. PCS Metro Sports would like to thank the following individuals for their assistance in the production of the telecast tonight. University of Connecticut Athletic Director John Toner, Head Coach Dom Perno, Sports Information Director Tim Tollikin. For Seton Hall, Athletic Director Richard Regan, Head Coach B.J. Colesimo, Sports Information Director John Wooding. Pirates get the ball inbounds. 35 seconds to play. Quick double team, and they foul. I'm looking for the man here. All right, yeah, Ransom Eves. Kelly commits the foul, and Eves is 5 out of 6 from the free throw line. He'll shoot a 1-1. He missed the front end of one a little while ago and then came back and hit a pair. Missed that one. Connecticut with a rebound. Coles to Kelly. 29 seconds to go. Kelly takes it up. Misses. Burton with a rebound. Kelly steals it back again. Goes up once more.
Oh, what a shot by Kelly. Got his own rebound, and he just made that shot happen himself and draw the foul on the play.
You've been talking about Kelly being capable of taking over a ball game, and he's trying to do that now. Missed that one. Here he comes again with a steal, and watch this.
Great hustle by Kelly. He's a great player. He can do this sort of thing and just take things over at moments. And the only question now is it too much, too little, too late? With 22 seconds left, it'll take a very furious comeback by UConn and some missed free throws by Seton Hall down the stretch.
Well, Kelly has the free throw. Think about it. 38 seconds ago, they were down by 10, and now it's 5.
Oh, they need too much time going off the clock right here.
And there is another foul. Stop the clock and put a man at the line. They foul Mike Jones, who has played a heck of a ball game. Not so much in his offensive production. He has scored 7, but he has passed the ball beautifully tonight for the Pirates.
One of the top assist men in the league last year. He's had his head up all night tonight, finding people up court wide open.
15 seconds to play. 81-76. Possible you could make up 5 if Jones would miss the front end, but if he hits 2, 7 points is awful lot to expect. So is 5 in 15 seconds. But 7 is something else again.
This is the good thing about basketball and the one-on-one free throws is you see Terry Coffey check into the ball game for Ray Broxton. The one-on-one can get you back in, but it can also be the tool that'll win it for the other team. So we'll see how Seton Hall responds.
Jones got that one. 3 guards in the lineup for the Huskies now. Kelly and Coffey and Warren. And Eddie Williams with quickness and Coles. Both of them. Kelly down. Passes under for Coles. Coles gets the basket, but not the foul that he would have liked to have had. And that's his first basket of the second half. 6 seconds to go. And a foul by Coles, sending Ransom Eves back to the line. Crowd behind us. Well, there are some hanging heads over by that Connecticut bench. It's going to be interesting to watch that man when this game ends 5 seconds from now?
Well, interestingly enough, I asked him before the game if, you know, the team was down. If he was down, he said, no, we've been in a lot of games. We've got a young club. We feel good going into the tournament, at least that we feel that if we can win this game tonight, we'll have some confidence. Everyone's staying together, and it looks like he's going to get that first Big East win of the season tonight.
Well, the way he looks over there, it's like, gee, what, another win? Nothing special about this. Another free throw by Eves, but 5 seconds from now, things are going to change. Coffee, the Coles, reverse dunk, ball game's over. Seton Hall has won it. In the final regular season game of the year in the Big East, the Pirates come up with an 85-81 win. Along with my colleague, Ron Perry, this is Tom Larson, saying so long from South Orange, New Jersey, here on the campus of Seton Hall University, where Seton Hall has won. And the final score, the Seton Hall Pirates, 85, the Connecticut Huskies, 80. This has been an exclusive TCS Metro Sports presentation.
UConn basketball